We are live with Aloha, Gail.
Aloha.
I
Hello,
made
everybody. I'm trying
I
to get
made
the ocean in here.
tried to make Gail bigger so we could all see her. The sun is rising in Hawaii. And my thumbnail on the video was a picture that Gail had taken and texted me. A much deserved vacation.
There, how's that? A little bit better?
Just making sure it was going live on YouTube. There we go.
There's some waves. Sorry about the vertical, guys. That's all me.
We're having technical difficulties. We were trying to get her in landscape so you could see a little bit more of the view, but it's beautiful there. Uh-oh, another technical difficulty. She's back. So obviously, how's the weather? It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Oh my goodness. It's been heaven. It's a little cloudy this morning. This is like the first clouds we've had. Um, it's been pretty amazing. Like you get a few little rain showers, but mostly it's super incredible. It's the first time here, and we've been to a couple different islands, and just such natural beauty. I can't even describe.
uh, Last month we were talking because we were supposed to be on Gail's channel this morning, but Gail was talking about she was going to Hawaii, and um, we just thought it would be wonderful if she could go live from Hawaii. But because I was having to send her links and everything so she could click in easier, we kept it on my channel for this week.
Yay.
Wow. I have never been to Hawaii. I've been all over the world and never been to Hawaii. It
Wow.
looks so beautiful. Oh, there goes Lucy.
It's worth it. Hey, Los.
She's in a lovely resort right on the water. You can hear the waves
I hope you can see the waves too coming in.
crashing in. Is the tide coming in or going out?
Yeah, I think looks like it's coming in.
So we thought this would be a great time to talk about the tides of life and flowing through life, nurturing yourself with water. My favorite way to nurture myself, bubble baths, right?
Yes, for sure. For sure. It's beautiful. Yeah, I was coming up, I was looking at kind of just thinking about all the different ways, we do um, use water and kind of nurture ourselves with water. And there are so many rituals around the world where they just water is such a healing factor, and especially here on Hawaii. Water is just absolutely sacred. I think, because of the limited, everything's salt water. You're surrounded by salt water. Um, and, so natural spring, life sustaining water is like absolutely holy. And, kind of just the belief is that, you honor it, and there's ceremonies to water. And there are, you know, I was the other day snorkeling with sea turtles, these giant sea turtles that come to this one spot every year. And, our director guy said, do not irritate, yell at, harm in any way, slap, do anything stupid. I'm like, who would do that? But people do it. The turtles, because the islanders believe that um, the turtles are the souls of their ancestors coming back to say hello. So they kind of make this journey and end up in this one space. And it was just beautiful the way, kind of reminds you to honor water, honor the animals, the creatures, everything. And especially water. It's so life sustaining for us. Like we are mostly water. The earth is mostly water.
They're asking what part of Hawaii you're in.
I'm right now. I'm on the Big Island, so I'm actually on Hawaii. We're in Kona, so I have some beautiful. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, guys. Kona coffee.
Kona coffee. I just got my Jinlin Tarot mug
Oh,
in the mail.
awesome!
If anyone would like a Jinlin Tarot mug, Johnny set up in his store some of my logo product. Um, Johnny from Tarot's Apprentice. If you go into his channel, you can go to his store and order a mug if you'd like a Jinlin Tarot coffee mug.
Oh, I love that. Definitely. Oh my God, that's so fun.
Or
So I'm trying
T-shirt
to
or
give
sweatshirt.
you guys more of the ocean than me. So I'm just gonna kind of do that and kind of be in space. Is that a pretty good
It,
shot?
it, I could just sit here and listen to the sounds of the water all
I
day.
know. I thought when you do your meditation that I would just let the like just have water and I'll just zip it and we'll have some beautiful waves. There honestly last night, so I swapped uh my nephew's been on the pull-out couch in the place, and we swapped so I could didn't wake everybody up. And the ocean crashed all night. You could hear it. It was absolutely amazing. Very powerful. Very almost difficult to sleep. Like I didn't sleep very well. It was just, but it's amazing. Like that flow of the waves, boy, and so just crashing, crashing, crashing. Because we're like feet from the ocean. Like I'm standing on the deck right now, and it's just but yeah, those waves were just, and you just hear that powerfulness all through the house all day. I thought, wow, this is a different, what a place to live. What a way to live.
It's washing over you. I always gather strength from the ocean whenever I'm near the ocean. I just, the force of it. But
Yeah.
I was thinking about, you know, earth, fire, air, water, earth being sensation or touch, physical touch, and fire
Yes.
being intuition or healing, air being thinking or mindfulness, and water, which is feelings and emotions. Water is
Emotions.
very fluid, and riding the tides of life is all about working through emotions, working through feelings. And I think that's why whenever I'm near an ocean and it's washing over me, it's giving me strength and kind of helping me work through whatever I'm going through. It's contemplative too, right? I mean, even Nostradamus used to use a bowl of water to scry in to get his images and stuff. So it's contemplative.
Yes, 100%. Yes, I mean when you that element in the tarot is cups is all emotion and feeling and kind of and honestly and the feminine energy that kind of and it transforms one thing to another. I mean water is kind of that catalyst or that piece between solid and gas, and it kind of goes in the cracks and kind of is just really transformative, corrosive in terms of Grand Canyon or something, but also can kind of transmute and um, kind of the energy just flows when it's a mover of energy, right?
I mean, even in a desert, water brings life. If you
Yes.
like an oasis where it's the only place in a desert you see anything growing, right? um,
Yes.
so
Yes. It is the true healer. Yes. And there were so many um, different cultural connections to water and how different people and cultures honor water um, all over. Let me grab my. Sorry, guys. trying not to move you around too much. I
Mhm.
left my little notebook, but just kind of, there we go. Just that, water is like an essential part of our lives. So, it protects us, it keeps us alive, it protects the animals, it protects the plants, like you were saying, the desert plants. Um, it is a representative of the divine feminine. Um, and, they say the female energy is sort of that liquid energy, the expansive, emotive energy, that we need in balance from one thing to the next. Um,
There's something too, you touched on this talking about the Grand Canyon, being eroded by water. There's an impermanence to water,
yes,
um, other than everything always goes back to our oceans, right? Like everything goes downriver, from the creeks and brooks and streams into the rivers, into the oceans again. But there's an impermanence. Like you can't catch a wave in your hand, right? It washes
right.
ashore. You can't control it. If you ever had a water leak in the house, like you can't control it, right?
Right.
Um, but you can feel it. You can feel the waves, and you can feel that surrender, that letting go that needs to happen with us, just to go with the tides of life. um each wave is different. No two waves are alike, and we can learn to bend like a wave and crash ashore, and learn to
Yes,
learn to just change with the tides as it brings those waves in.
right. Yes, kind of helps. I mean, water, we are water at heart. We're water, 70% of our bodies. Um, and allowing that fluidity within us, to kind of flow into our next phase of life, or flow, just keep moving forward in life. Um, that's a really, to remember that water piece. I think when we're feeling really stuck energy, or really, boxed, or overwhelmed, I think to connect with water and connect with that kind of flow of life. And, when I did therapy with clients and I'd have a really, really long day, I would go into the bathroom and just wash my hand, like let the water run over my hands. I would put it on my face, but I would just, as I let the water run over my hands, I would just let go of the last, few sessions or whatever, and just try to, refresh and start again. And I think water is that element. Like, it was particularly the water that kind of took that away and was able to kind of help me refresh. It's just
Renewal.
renewal. Yes, very
And
much.
I think water too reminds us, how everything is connected. I mean, the tides roll in because of gravity and the moon effect on Earth. So the connectedness with the moon, and how it's pulling, at our oceans, to bring those waves. It's everything's connected, and everything in the universe is connected. It's just,
Yes,
um,
most definitely.
I most especially feel that when I'm near the ocean.
Yes, I always, when I'm anywhere near ocean, um, I need to at least go knee deep, just, feel that connection with the whole planet. You know,
Mhm.
it's just, there's nothing that heals you like this part. This is like, every once in a while I just want to go to the ocean somewhere. I don't really care where it is, you know. Um,
I
yeah,
think too, the waves moving in, there's a rhythm to them, but yet there's not, right? Like you can't predict when the next one will crash. You can see
right.
it coming, but they have a irregular timing to it. But it's still sort of a rhythm that you can kind of get into, and you can feel those crashing waves. Um I think it's a just a constant reminder to release, to let go, to surrender, to renew and find our inner strength, and to get in the moment, to feel peace and contentment just being there in the moment. um I think that just sitting on a beach watching the waves crashing, there's nothing like it for getting you in the moment.
Yes, 100%. I've spent more time sitting and staring than I have doing just about anything. It's just so healing and just grounding and just incredible. Yeah, you just kind of float.
Sometimes we need that serenity, to get centered again, to be a centered self, not a self-centered, a centered self.
Right,
um, just just to get back in that moment, because we're always like living in the future. Oh, I got to pay that bill this in 2 days. Oh, I've got to do this, go here, go over there, get my hair done, go to the dentist, go here. It's we're running around like crazy. So just to have that time where you just stop, everything freezes except the water, the ocean.
right. Definitely. Yeah, it's so beautiful, and that sense of connection and grounding too, I think. Um, I mean, when you think about all the oceans of the world, I mean, it's all one, we've named it different things, but all the waters connect to each other, and it kind of flows through the whole planet, and just, it's that sense of connection. And um, you know, we're all one, and that's one of the tremendous, all things, plants, animals. I mean, that water flows through every animal, every plant, every human. You know, the one Hawaiian god, what is his? He's Kane, I think. He said, the human being is the vessel, for the sacred vessel for water. You know, um, and just that we encompass that whole connection, that whole honoring, that whole sense of beauty.
Yeah, I get mesmerized,
Yes, it's
watching it.
mesmerizing right
Yeah,
now. I hope
it's
you
it's
guys can hear this really well. It's so
it's
beautiful.
hypnotizing and mesmerizing. And even though we were laughing because obviously Gail doesn't have her big gong with her, or all her sound bowls and stuff. I said just the sounds of the ocean will be a wonderful sound bath for our meditation at the end.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah, it was perfect. I got a little flute and I was gonna play. I'm like, we don't need it. It's just so amazing to hear the water, and it's so healing. And I mean, there's sound bowls you can play in water. I mean, water just transmits energy. Everything is energy. And if you think about a flower essence going into water, and it being put on someone, or anointing somebody in water, or baptizing somebody in water, it transmits that holy energy.
Yeah, I always found it interesting, and it's still like the child in me plays with this every time. Like if I have an open glass of water, not my refillable cup water, right? If I have a glass, and you put water in it, and if you rub your finger around the edge of the glass, it doesn't make any sound until you dip your finger in the water and then rub a little water around the rim,
Right.
and then the resonance, comes. Um,
Yes, that's
the,
that
the
that
water even
healing.
yeah, the water brings that sound to life.
Yes.
um I mean, the water carries electrical current through it, right? Like they say, don't put your hand under running water if you're having a thunderstorm, if there's lightning going on,
Right.
because water can carry currents with it. But it can be transformative. It can. um,
100%. Yes. So what have I got here? So I was kind of just looking to see, because Hawaii is so focused on the natural, you know, um, existence of things, but the Taoists saw water as a metaphor for our path in life. And it twists and it turns and moves around obstacles, but it's always moving forward. So that is the Taoist take on water. And the Hindus believe all water is sacred. Um, they think the water washes away sins, that water is just a way to wash sins away. If they have a loved one that's been cremated, they believe putting it in the Ganges, putting the ashes in the Ganges, will move the soul to heaven. So that's its path. Now I don't know how many people are in the Ganges. That's gonna here you're not allowed to do that, but the Indians believe that, the Taoists, and just the Buddhists say, water is a symbol of purity and clarity and calmness, um, and that they strive to live in complete harmony with the environment. And a lot of the indigenous cultures, like here on Hawaii, the water is just sacred. Like I was saying, it's just completely sacred, and it sustains them. I mean, they're on this island. When you think about it, it's just such a different take being on an enclosed island. Um, you know, uh, in terms of so many things, but you just can't leave.
Yeah.
And in my case, that's amazing. But if you have no water, no, so every drop is sacred to them. Um,
I mean, if you think
and
about it, a continent is just a bigger island, right? We're all kind of
right,
we can isolate ourselves quite a bit if we're not careful, but we're all kind of on islands, and yet we can reach across all of that,
absolutely,
honor our
and
local community, but also honor the world, the global community.
yes, and that's something that we've been talking a lot about that on Sacred Sounds. Just that need for connection, the importance of connection. Um, you know, and here, like the law, the community, the laws, the norms of the island are based in protection of water and protection of natural resources. So they honor it. They're not so distanced. I feel like the more space we have, maybe the more distance we can have. That's not so helpful all the time. But here, they're very strict on their laws of protecting nature and protecting water, and kind of honoring every place that we've stayed, that we've been to. um, they don't do plastic, they don't do they all have like free water filtration systems, so you're not just consuming. They are kind of honoring what they have, and it's really beautiful, and it feels better to me. I've started to work towards that in my own life. I have a water purifier instead of all the bottles and all the but just to honor how much water you use. And I think every time you take a shower, flush a toilet, just be thankful and have a moment of gratitude for this beautiful water right here.
Yeah.
Get out of the way. And
Gail,
you
I don't know if you read the books or got into the movies. Dune, the trilogy Dune. I read it when I was younger, and I love the new version that they've done is awesome.
okay,
The movie version and everything, but water is like everything, that because they're in a desert, everything is about capturing every drop of water in these special suits and everything to recycle it, to keep you alive, because water is so precious.
right, yes, I
For
mean
those
they
that
are
are
doing.
Dune fans out there, you get it. It's like it's sacred.
Yes, they are actually in Arizona, New Mexico. They are like kind of how we have solar panels. They are developing panels that take the moisture out of the air and collect it and store it. to try to get more water into the have more water available and be recycling all the water they can in the desert. So that's become it's very expensive now, but it's become quite a focus for them. Just and
Mm.
that really makes you honor water. When you think about we're so in the Midwest, particularly, we're so used to having a lot of water, but I think just in recent years I've really started focusing on don't look at it that way, really conserve and honor and don't take more than you need, I think, is the main focus. But so I have a little ritual if people want to kind of think about honoring the water. um, So if you collect rainwater, snow, any kind of water that you want to collect it in maybe glass or something, probably not plastic, but just, the next time it rains or whatever, collect that water, put a favorite crystal or whatever, something, that you feel is healing in there, and kind of pray on it for, 5-10 days, and then kind of release that in a place where you're able to do that. Some places have a lot of strict laws about it, but pour that prayed healed water into a place of water that's really polluted, like a canal or somewhere that you're aware of that's been really polluted, and kind of that transmission of the healing.
Yeah.
It's just something to think about, something to maybe do as a way
I
to
love
honor.
I love rain barrels. Here it's because mosquitoes are so bad. It's hard to have things like rain barrels because mosquitoes will breed in them. But I
Yes.
try to recycle water whenever I capture it. Use it in gardening or whatever if I can capture water, rainwater.
Yes, absolutely. And it brings your mind back to it all the time. Like, the important thing is just that moment of like, thank you. I think that, doing a ritual like that really reminds us constantly, because it's so easy to forget, everything's so chaotic.
Mm.
But, you know,
But it's interesting too, like having to catch like rainwater because you can't drink salt water. You have to filter out the salt, right?
right, exactly.
Um,
And I think that's why it's so crazy here on the island. Like, it's so important to them because to fly in water is a big deal. And back in the times when there wasn't such things, the tiny springs they had on these islands was what sustained life. So they worshipped it.
Guard it and take care of it.
Yes.
Well,
Yes. Yeah. I was trying to think of all the ways, gardening and, just all the ways you could honor water when you come across it. Even simple things, washing your hands, but gardening, you know, just
changing your pet's water bowl.
yes, definitely, definitely, yes, yeah. So it's so beautiful.
And as we drink water and some of my crystals occasionally I'll wash with water, the ones that can handle water. Some crystals don't it weakens them if you wash them, but there's
Yes,
there's a cleansing element. The rain washes away um and renews the life and makes my grass grow, so I have to get out there and mow it again.
right. Yes, complete sustainer of life. Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
we can always return to those images of water. Like I was saying, I gather strength from the ocean. So because
Yes,
I'm inland, right? I'm in the middle of the country, Midlands area. I am not near the ocean, but a lot of times I'll put on my cell phone a YouTube video of just the sound of the ocean crashing. Just to hear that in the background, it renews my soul.
definitely, 100%. I do the same thing. And so I was so excited last night to sleep by the ocean, like sleep and hear those waves crash all night. And it's funny, certain parts of the night it was a little more frightening, like it gets pretty fierce. And you're just like, wow, that's crazy. But it was also really healing and really, it was just incredible to hear the ocean all night long. Like I was like feet from it. And so you're getting just that constant crash and the flow and I mean, it's really, I thought, wow, is this different from living at home? Just that whole, it takes you away. It really is incredible. Oops, sorry.
I think too,
Little
like I'm
trash can.
thinking about the tides of life and everything, and water being connected to feelings or emotions. It's like we've all had some forms of trauma in our life, whether it's grief or abuse or uh, some form of loss of a job, loss of a loved one, loss. We've all experienced different forms of loss. And I think what the ocean teaches us and what the tides teach us is that everything will return. Even your joy for life will return. It's just getting in touch with those emotions, letting them come up, letting them ride to the surface and healing it. If you suppress an emotion, it doesn't heal. So letting it come up and washing away, so to speak, um, it's a constant reminder to me that life will return, that things will be restored. They may be different, especially if you've lost a loved one, because they're physically not here with us. They I believe spiritually they're still here with us. As you were talking about the turtles being
Yeah.
the Hawaiians, coming back, I believe they're still with us. But some joy for life can return. And that doesn't mean we're living in a blissful, joyful state 24/7, right? We have our downtimes, but learning to um, navigate the waters of life again, getting
Yes.
out there, moving forward again.
Yes. I think that's so true with like grief and renewal, like you said, trauma, all of it, like to kind of flush that through and not help it get stuck and stagnant and um, just to pop the cork and let it flow. And that's so
Mhm.
important to move to the next thing, to keep us flowing forward and moving forward and letting go. Absolutely. That is like a great representation of water and its purpose and what it can teach us if we're feeling, down or stuck water's a great one. Water rituals, whether it's an Epsom salt bath or going in the garden or whatever to remind us that we're not stuck.
Yeah.
That flow of the water, that
I
the
mean,
answer will come.
it's like we're constantly having rebirths. We're born out of water, right? And the sac breaks and we're born and we come from water. Our body is what 95% water, nine whatever the percentage is, but we're we're constantly rebirthing ourselves. We're constantly reinventing ourselves. We're constant. There's times like if you've ever been tubing, where you ride an inner tube down a river or a creek, there are times where you just let the current take you, right? Where you just
Yeah.
drift along. But it can be a wild ride at times. It can be a very calm ride at times, and we just constantly are learning to get with those currents of life and those tides of life.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So when I got when we were on the one of the other islands, um, I there were surfers obviously, and there were people on these body boards, and the force of the wave would just shove them, and I'm like, I have to do that. Like I'm not a water, uh, you know, uh, experience. I'm not a water. Person that goes and does crazy stuff. I'm just that's not my thing, especially with water. I have asthma, and I just when I put my face in the water, I have a tendency to panic. But I was like, no, I have to do this, and of course, what better time to do it? So I got one of those boards, and oh my gosh, the force of that water! I paddled out as far as I could, And I just waited like the rest. They float there from sun up to sundown, just waiting for that wave. It's so incredible, and I never understood that. And then I actually waited, and here comes the water, and that water just pushed me all the way to the beach, to the shore. And I'm out there again, back at it, back at it. You're battling the wave, but you're also
It's
you're
the
flowing
anticipation
with the
too.
water.
Yeah,
You know.
the anticipation too of, oh, it's coming, it's coming. Yeah, when you,
Yes.
I call that feeling on an edge. When you feel something's going to change. The anticipation. It's like leaning into it, right? What are you going to do? You're out there in the water now. You can't run from the wave.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
learning to go with it.
Yes. But that force, I'm like, that is a force of life right there. Seeing these people just being whipped in, I'm like, oh my God, I need to feel that through my body. And honestly, when that wave takes you, it is transformative. It really is incredible. There's you're not gonna fight anything. Like, you just gotta let go, and it's awesome. Like, it was such a inspiring, awesome feeling to be whipped with the force of it.
Yeah, I think that's what faith is just trusting and letting go.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's a bigger source here, and sometimes we just have to trust and let go and
Yes.
take the
100%.
take the plunge.
That's what I wanted to learn from that boogie board or body board or whatever the heck it was, and I did. It was beautiful. I was like, I'm free. It's just incredible. Boy, I'm glad I did that. I was a little fearful, but I'm like, nope. And then I was like going back at it.
It-
Wait for the wave, and then you got to get yourself turned around so it can push you instead of just knocking you right, you know, going right over the top of you. So it was really cool.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know one of my ladies that I adore, Lucy Cavendish. She's a oracle deck maker and a book writer and all the things. And she lives in Australia, and she is a surfer. And she talked about, man, and she had a couple of shots of just her against that wave and, pedaling out. And she's like, man, it kicked my butt today. And I didn't understand that till I felt the force of that water. And I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Like, I get it now. I get why people sit up there sun up to sundown waiting to battle that wave. It's really something. And just to let go, then once you get inside, you let go. It's
I mean,
incredible.
it's reflective too. It reflects the sun as the sun is coming up, right? Or as it's going down. It's um, you know, millennia ago when they didn't have mirrors, they your first impression of what we look like, was from water, looking in water, and it
Right?
can reflect back to us things that we need to kind of think about and mull over and
Yes.
release.
Yes. Ooh, and when we at the end, I have a poem for us today too.
Awesome.
I had pages and pages of stuff, but with all my difficulties, I had to let go, Jen.
Well,
But the poem
that's
I
what
did pull out.
vacation is for, is letting go and just, you have worked hard
This was a
for a
tremendous
long
lesson. And
for a
just
long
letting
time.
go. I was so prepared last night. I had everything set up. I had all the furniture moved so I could get the best angle. And it all went away. And here we are. But I hope you guys can see this gorgeousness. That's all that matters. Right there.
It's it's just so beautiful. She sent me so many beautiful photos. I had trouble picking which one to use for the thumbnail. And as the sun is rising there, and we were trying to time it right because it was dark at 10 a.m. Central Time, so we had to time it right so she had a little bit of daylight coming.
Right, right, right. I'm like, well, I can't be completely in dark. So maybe if we start 30 minutes. And then I learned yesterday we got here. I think we did get here yesterday on Hawaii. And the island, the sunrise is on the other side of the island. So we're really blocked. Like, some places you still will get it. But here we get a full view of sunset. And I'm like, son of a gun, I can't film the sunset. They're very strict here about a lot of their places own the properties and you can't just kind of walk around and go find a sunrise, unfortunately, which makes me really sad, but it's working. We're getting there. And we still got sun coming over the mountains. So,
Yeah. Well, shall we do our meditation with the water sounds?
yes,
As
definitely.
we're
Do you want me to read poem first or after or not at all? I have a Mary Oliver again.
Oh, I would love to hear a Mary Oliver poem.
Okay. Do you want to do that? Not, do you want me to do that now?
Um,
Or do you want to do meditation first?
Either way, if you'd like to read the poem first, and then we'll go into the meditation and for the sound bath, because obviously Gail doesn't have all her sound equipment with
Right.
her sound bath healing. We have the beautiful sound of the ocean. So after the meditation, we're just going to have a little quiet space, so you can just kind of reflect and hear the ocean waves.
Yes. Okay. All right. I'm going to read. Let me get my glasses. Sorry, guys. I am so discombobulated today, and I had everything like laid in its perfect place. I think this is such a good lesson for me because I get so like obsessive and nervous and everything else. So this is really good that it all fell
and,
apart.
and over
Okay.
organized.
Yes. It's a social work thing. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is Mary Oliver, who we love. I know I've read some of her stuff on here before, but it's At the River Clarion is the name of the poem. I don't know who God is exactly, but I'll tell you this. I was sitting in the river named Clarion on a water splashed stone, and all afternoon I listened to the voices of the river talking. Whenever the water struck a stone, it had something to say, and the water itself, and even the mosses trailing under the water. And slowly, very slowly, it became clear to me what they were saying. Said the river, I am part of holiness. And I too, said the stone, and I too, whispered the moss beneath the water. I'd been to the river before a few times. Don't blame the river that nothing happened quickly. You don't hear such voices in an hour or a day. You don't hear them at all in selfhood has stuffed when selfhood has stuffed your ears. And it's difficult to hear anything anyway through all the traffic, the ambition. If God exists, he isn't just butter and good luck. He's also the tick that killed my wonderful dog Luke. Said the river, imagine everything you can imagine, then keep going. Imagine how the lily, who may also be part of God, would sing to you, if it could sing, if you would pause to hear it, and how you are so certain anyway that it doesn't, and how are you so certain anyway that it doesn't sing? If God exists, he isn't just churches and mathematics. He's the forest, he's the desert, he's the ice caps that are dying, he's the ghetto and the Museum of Fine Arts. He's Van Gogh and Allen Ginsberg and Robert Motherwell. He's the many desperate hands cleaning and preparing their weapons. He's every one of us, potentially. The leaf of grass, the genius, the politician, the poet. And if this is true, isn't it something very important? Yes, it could be that I am a tiny piece of God, and each of you too, or at least of his intention and his hope, which is a delight beyond measure. I don't know how you get to suspect such an idea. I only know that the river keeps singing. It wasn't a persuasion, it was all the river's own constant joy, which was better by far than a lecture, which was comfortable, exciting, unforgettable. Of course, for each of us, there is the daily life. Let us live it gesture by gesture. When we cut the ripe melon, should we not give it thanks? And should we not thank the knife also? We do not live in a simple world. There was someone I loved who grew old and ill. One by one, I watched the fires go out. There was nothing I could do except to remember that we receive, then we give back. My dog Luke lies in a grave in the forest. She is giving back. But the river Clarion still flows from wherever it comes from to wherever it has been told to go. I pray for the desperate earth. I pray for the desperate world. I do the little each person can do. It isn't much. Sometimes the river murmurs, sometimes it raves. Along its shores, where may I say very intense cardinal flowers and trees and birds that have wings to uphold them, for heaven's sakes. The lucky ones, they have such deep natures, they are so happily obedient. While I sit here in a house filled with books, ideas, doubts, hesitations, and still pressed deep into my mind, the river keeps coming, touching me, passing by on its long journey, its pale, infallible voice singing.
I don't know if we even need a meditation after that. That poem said it all.
It's beautiful.
The beautiful giving, receiving, and giving back, and
Yes,
that we're all holy. We're all, we're all created in the image and likeness. We're all creators. We're all gods.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Thank you, Mary Oliver.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary Oliver, and thank
I
you for
keep
reading
trying to
that. That
find
was like
other
the
poets, and I keep going back to her with the
yeah.
because
That was just perfect for the topic today. That was
yes,
just beautiful.
yes, I love her.
I'll be going back and listening to the poem again because that was a meditation, thought provoking meditation in itself.
Yes, definitely. Yay.
Wow. Well, I'm just going to do a brief candle lighting after that beautiful poem because I feel like that was a meditation in itself. That was definitely got me thinking and reflecting.
Mhm.
um, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Ariel, we surrender to your mercy, compassion, and healing. We thank you for the reminder through our feelings and through our discomforts or traumas or grief that the inevitable return of the tides and the return of life will come. We thank you for the joy that returns and ebbs and flows in life. We thank you for restoring our souls with water as we guard and protect the water on our earth. We thank you for the peace and contentment and the strength that we feel in watching water as we renew our soul or even hearing water. We thank you for reminding us of our own inner strength and aligning us with divine order. The sea calls to us, it awakens our dreams, it invites us to dream again, and it soothes our soul. The rhythmic cadence of the waves washes over us and it reminds us to be at peace in this moment, to reflect and to be kind to ourselves first, then to others. We thank you for the calm serenity that feeds us. We thank you for the impermanence in the waves, the fact that we cannot hold them, we cannot capture them, we cannot control them, to remind us that things are impermanent in our lives too. And as Mary Oliver said, there's a time to receive and a time to give back. We thank you that each wave is different, that each wave bends and changes with the tide, just as each soul here is different and bends and changes with the tides. I release now whatever I am trying to cling to. I release the resistance to change. I am learning to lean into and learn from all those experiences I have that flow through life. Whatever uncomfortable feeling I am having, I can bend as the wave and roll safely ashore. Whatever moment I am trying to capture can live on in my heart. The memories I am grateful for will return to me over and over again, like the waters of life. The memories that no longer serve me, I can release and let them wash away and wash away any negative attachments to those memories. The movement of the water nurtures. It stills my soul to be present now. I am well and I am moving forward.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Thank you for that.
But I some of my meditations I write down some bullet points when I do them, and they're channeled. I know a lot of them are channeled
Yep.
because I write them down the night before, and I have a very close connection with my angels. So
Yep. Yes, you do. Thank them. We are all grateful for that.
we are all be well and uh, I'm feeling like the letting go that you're having on your vacation. I'm sharing in that with you because I'm getting ready for my first seminar. So I was getting a little anxious, trying to get ready.
Yes.
Um, and so it's like I needed that breathing space.
Yes. 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 And I will see you there. I'm so excited for that too. That's huge for you. I love that. I'm so glad.
Well, keep sharing those photos. They're beautiful. I have to put up your photos on my community tab for you.
Awesome.
So people can see because it is just lovely. Every photo looks different because she's moving around different places, different views.
Yeah.
But we hope all of you take a moment, be in the moment today, and just allow things to expand at their own pace, just like the tides.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.